Injustice plus time does not equal justice. That would be to say that justice is comedy and our suffering is a joke. It's been a journey of a year, one that's lasted forever, a journey nonetheless that we've been on together, marked out by truths re-emerging in a year that didn't flatter, but one that enables me to start by saying that Black lives still matter. And if what comes to mind is that that's somehow fallible, that's okay, justice is seldom palatable. For so long, we've been struck a bad deal. The church often loves to apologize for how you feel, but never for the part it played in the pain it helps you accrue. For that, we say sorry without hesitation. After all, Christmas is all about reconciliation. And if those who reject what we now know to be true, that church has voted to keep overdue reform overdue. But amidst Zoom services and YouTube streams, the blessing ensemble, praise and worship by teams, what we've remembered as we've gathered for our service tonight sans candle, sans steeple, that the church isn't the place, but the church is the people. Burdened for so long by salvation, we've removed the idea that the world has a voice, and if that voice is heard, it might bring an ethical choice post-introspection on the moral direction on how we must live. It wasn't by mistake that this was justified intolerance, but true to the belief of it being handed to only a few by God's ineffable providence. That's the truth of the embargo day, and one we've been missing. If there's innate value in the world, then to all we must listen. And since I have your ear, let's get some things right. The way we love each other has been corrupted by this slight. The way we see each other has been misled in our plight. Humanity's essence was created in God's likeness, and Jesus wasn't white. If that ideal image of Christianity has been misconstrued by each generational blink, then how we see and love our neighbor may be corrupted by this link. The preconception of the perfect Christian might be altered in a wink, because unless a black or brown female in the third world comes to mind, the average Christian probably doesn't look like we think. When Christ looks like you, we see our neighbor take on new vision. Our perceptions of the image of God were prejudiced by our own volition. So curating a cure with compassion is our credible commission, and correcting it in a world full of noise requires us all to look and listen. So when times are tough and things look dim, look at your neighbor with love and see him. Look at God working through a sister when you feel you can't cope and see hope. Look through the prism of life with a new lease and feel peace. Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression. This is his word, not this new woke suggestion. It's not the therapeutics of a quick fix, it's the hermeneutics of justice. And if you take nothing else away from the Bible today, take this. We are all one kind, and it is important to be kind. So here's one for you from Hebrews 13:2. On whatever ship you're stowing, whatever baggage you're towing, do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some have cared for angels without even knowing. Sometimes you don't need spiritual, just sensible to keep going. It doesn't need to be ordained with a crown. Christ came at Christmas and love came down. Carried by Mary, love came down to heal all heartache because he would see the tethers that hold our universes together and mend them when they break. On that glorious day, the first Noel most renowned, and love came down. We were insignificant in contribution, but our contribution was of significance, of dazzling magnificence to the eternal pit of optimism and brilliance we called life. The greatest gift, an ode to life, that's the prelude to that conquered death, the significance of living. Alas, the greatest gift was not the gift itself, that's misconceiving. When love came down, the greatest gift was not in receiving. The greatest gift is the gift you give. The feeling when their snowflake thank you lands on your heart, that instantly melts away all the months we've been apart. Personify the glisten in their eye and place it atop of the tree. It's angelic and faces up to fate's misfortunes, now a forgotten relic. Parallel that to the wonderful waking coma of the perfect gift. Elevated by the joy of giving, significance accentuated by the beauty of living. And if the greatest gift resides in the joy of giving, therein lies the significance of living for something other than ourselves and contributing to others who will live from your contribution, the lifted burden of absolution, not fleeting achievements in vain, but reverent significance punctuated with your name. Because a little birdie told me like golf, I can tell it to a T. Driving home for Christmas this year is a message for all to see. Because, you see, I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just pray that this gift of undying love will rain down, of salvation will allow, of security to hold fast, that this gift of peace and unity will last. From this Christmas day till that first second of eternity has passed. For the equation for justice, it's injustice plus God's mercy, showing why we celebrate this proper noun. Because Christ came at Christmas and love came down.